Hey everyone, Ken Horowitz from Sega16.com again, back with another pickup video. It's been a while since my last pickup video and I have gotten a lot of games, but I'm going to focus this one on the Sega stuff that I got. I've gotten a couple of Genesis games, one Master System games, and a whole bunch of Game Gear games. I really want to share the Game Gear games most of all because I'm very excited to have added those to my game library because like I said in previous videos, I've been exploring the Game Gear library and I'm really excited to be able to experience these games for the first time. I didn't get to play most of them back in the day. So let's get started. First of all, here's the first Master System game that I got, Captain Silver. The only Master System game I got recently. I haven't played a lot of it yet, but it was one of those games that always interested me back in the day. The images on the back here, kind of blurry, I guess you can't see them. Let me try and get this here. Yeah. Well, you can't see them really, but it's a side-scrolling action game. Kind of stiff in the animation, but it looks interesting. Of course, the game was complete. Even came a little poster. So I'm happy to knock that one off the list of Game Gear games that I need. Next up is Exo Squad for the Genesis, and if you notice, this is in a clamshell case. Someone on eBay sells actual brand new clamshell cases with inserts for around $8. So this game is pretty expensive now. I have no idea why. It's not that great of a game. It's okay, but it's not worth the price they're asking. And but I was able to get the cartridge for a decent price, and I got the manual for about $7, and then for $8 I got this insert and box, and so I'm really happy to have a complete copy. I'm substituting all my cardboard boxes for clamshell cases. I'm not throwing out the cardboard boxes when I'm putting them away, but for display purposes I want clamshells because clamshells are just sturdier, they're easier to maintain, and they don't deteriorate just by opening them like cardboard boxes do. The next one I got is basically two parts here. I got Chuck Rock and Chuck Rock 2. There you go. I got the first Chuck Rock here for about $10, and I hadn't played it in years, and I was really enjoying it. And then I remember that there was a sequel. Actually, I have the sequel on Sega CD, but I wanted to get them both on Genesis, so I got Chuck Rock 2, Son of Chuck, and this game is pretty cool because it does a lot of effects on the Genesis. Core Design programmed it, and there's lots of parallax scrolling, and there's lots of scaling and rotation, and it's really, really, really cool. So I'm happy to be able to play these two now. I will give them lots of playtime, and I never got to finish part 2 on the Sega CD, and I've never really played part 1, so I'm happy to be able to do that now. And the last Genesis game I got is Demolition Man, which we just recently published a review for the Sega CD version on Sega 16. I actually had never played this game. As a matter of fact, it wasn't until I was taking screenshots to post the Sega CD review that I actually decided, that I actually got a chance to play it, and I decided to go and get a copy of the Genesis version. I'll get the Sega CD version later on, but this is a really fun, solid little action title, and I was really surprised. I mean, you see Acclaim here, the name at the bottom, and you think, licensed title by Acclaim, ooh, stay away from that. But actually, it's a pretty good title, very good. I'm very happy to get that. Everything else I got now is Sega CD, and I got some here that are worth discussing and others not so much, so I'm going to only discuss the ones that have a decent story or are interesting. First one I got is Clutch Hitter, which is a decent little baseball game. It turned out this was not the baseball game I was looking for. I was looking for another baseball game, but this one was at a decent price and it was complete, so I picked that one up. I also got G-Lock, which is a decent game. It's no Afterburner. It's really slow, but it's fun. I got Putt and Putter, which is a cool mini golf game. And what was really surprising about this game is that, I don't know if you can tell, but the box is just absolutely pristine. I mean, it's in wonderful condition. All these games come with box and manual, all complete, and I put these little plastic display cases on them, not because, not just for display purposes, but also because they're cardboard boxes, so I really want to conserve them, and I'm trying to preserve them as long as possible. So, but I was very happy to get this game because I love miniature golf games, and this was really cool. I like zany golf on the Genesis, and this was kind of in that vein. I also got The Adventures of Batman and Robin, which is not as good as the Genesis version, but it's a cool little game. Pretty happy to finally play this version, which I'd never gotten to. I also picked up Columns, which if you own a Game Gear, Columns is a must, just like if you own a Game Boy, Tetris is a must. This is a wonderful puzzle version. I actually like the Game Gear version a bit more than I do the Genesis version. It is 2-player with it has the little gear-to-gear thing, although I don't have the cable, but I don't have, well, I have 2 Game Gears, so I should probably pick up the cable, but then I have to get another copy of Columns, and so, but it's worth it because this game is really, really fun. I enjoy this one a lot. I also got Dragon Crystal, which is kind of a spiritual sequel to Fatal Labyrinth. I actually like this one more than Fatal Labyrinth because the environments change. It's not just the same walls and floor all the time. You go outside and the graphics change, the surface changes. It's really interesting to look at. It's also more refined in gameplay terms than Fatal Labyrinth is, and I'd like to see how the Sega Master System version holds up compared to this, but I've had a lot of fun with the Game Gear version. I also picked up Defenders of Oasis, which is a pretty neat little RPG, kind of hard because the encounter rate is really high, and the attacks are based on speed. So the fastest characters will always attack first and the slowest ones will attack last. So you'll have encounters where you'll have characters that might not attack at all and other characters that might attack two or three times in a single round. And usually the strongest characters tend to be slower, so it takes a little bit of practice to get into, but it's beautiful. The graphics and the music are incredible for a Game Gear game, and it's got cutscenes and everything, and it's a really neat little adventure. This is another one I had to piece together with a box here and a manual there and the cartridge separate, but I'm very happy to finally have a complete copy of that. Just recently I got from Space Flea on the Sega 16 forum, thank you Space Flea, I got this complete copy of Lucky Dime Caper starring Donald Duck for the Game Gear, and this is one that I remember seeing in Toys R Us for like $5 back in the day, and since I didn't have a Game Gear I didn't pay much attention to it, and now when I was looking for it on eBay it was either cartridge only or the price wasn't all that attractive. Space Flea made me a great offer, snatched it up, very happy to have this. I have Deep Duck Trouble as well, so now I have both Donald Duck Adventures, unless there's another one. I'm pretty sure those are the only two. And the last Game Gear I got was an import, and that's Tempo Junior. And the reason why I got the Japanese version of Tempo Junior is because a complete copy of the US one can go over $100. I mean, just the cartridge alone I've seen for $35 on eBay, which is insane because it's a decent platformer, but it's nowhere near as charming as the 32X original, and nowhere near as good as the Sega Saturn sequel. But for what it is a Sega Club kids game. This one I got for $40 shipped. This was the first Japanese Game Gear game I got, and I was amazed to see that the boxes are so small. And you see how it kind of hangs loose in here, and I've checked and they don't make any of these boxes for Game Gear games, Japanese Game Gear games, but they're just really, really tiny. I mean, I guess if all my games were Japanese, I would probably save a lot of shelf space, but it's really weird that these boxes are so small. Reminds me of Batman the video game on Mega Drive, which the Japanese version had that tiny little box. It looks kind of weird on the shelf, but the Game Gear is region free, so and the game is entirely in English. So I'm very happy to finally be able to play this without having to pay for an enormous amount of money. I could have probably gotten the cartridge by itself for maybe $20, $25 if I found a deal on eBay. But since I'm trying to collect complete Game Gear games, it was important to me to have it complete. So initially I bought this because I thought that it was import only. And after I had paid for it, I realized that it had come out on the US Game Gear. But then when I saw how much it was worth, I was like, well, I was never going to be able to get the US version anyway, so I'm happy to get that. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Game Gear, a lot of Genesis lately. Still don't have a lot of Sega Master System, new Sega Master System games. But I've been playing a lot of Master System lately too. I've been playing Govelius, Miracle Warriors, which Sega 16 will have a review of that pretty soon. So lots of good Sega games going around here at my house. So thanks for watching. If you've gotten any new Game Gear, Genesis, or Master System, or Sega CD32X games, let me know in the comments below. Please thumbs up the video, head over to Facebook and like our page, head over to Sega16.com and check out our reviews, features, and interviews. And thank you for watching, and take care.